I don't know why I came back. If you had asked me a week ago, I'd have sworn I'd never set foot in that house again. Not after everything that happened. But here I am, standing in front of the door. The same rusty key trembling in my hand. The same faded welcome mat that still smells faintly of mold and rain. The house looks smaller now. It's strange how time does that. How places that once felt endless and full of life shrink into shells of silence. The porch creaks beneath my shoes, and for a moment, I swear I hear footsteps following mine. But when I turn, there's only the wind. Always the wind. Inside, the air is thick, heavy with the scent of old wood, dust, and something sweet that shouldn't be there. On the left wall, the nail is still there, the one that used to hold our family portrait. Me, Mom, and Dad. There's nothing there now. Just a faint rectangle where the wallpaper is a little brighter and a dark burned stain below it. I remember that night. I remember the lighter in my hand, my fingers shaking. I burned the photograph because I thought if I destroyed the memory, maybe the memory would stop destroying me. But memories don't burn. They hide. They rot. And eventually, they come back, crawling out of the dark places you thought you'd buried them in. I drop my bag near the stairs and glance around. Everything feels frozen. The curtains are still drawn, the clock on the wall stuck at 3:17 a.m., and the same old camera sits on the shelf by the window, the Kodak Retinet, the one my dad used to carry everywhere. He loved that thing. Said it captured truth better than the human eye. Funny, because the last picture he ever took was the night before he died, and it was of me. I don't even remember posing for it. I pick up the camera now. The leather strap cracks under my fingers, dry and brittle. When I open the lens, a soft click echoes through the room. The mirror inside is dusty, but still reflects a faint shimmer of light from the window. And for a second, just one, I think I see something move behind me. A shadow, maybe. Or maybe just me remembering too much. I put the camera down on the table. But as soon as it touches the wood, I hear another click, soft, mechanical, deliberate. The camera just took a picture. That's impossible. There's no film inside. I know because I checked. I opened the back. But when I look again, the roll is there. Brand new, loaded, and the counter reads 1. 1 photo taken. I can't explain why, but my stomach turns cold. Something about that sound feels wrong, not loud, but alive. Like it's breathing. I tell myself I'm just tired. It's been years since I slept properly. Ever since Mom vanished. They said she left on her own. That she couldn't handle what happened with Dad. But the neighbors whispered about other things, about screams at night, about lights in the window when the house was empty. I never believed them. At least not until now. I pick up the camera again. The air around it feels colder. My breath fogs in front of me, and then a voice. A whisper barely audible, like static caught between radio channels. It says my name. I drop the camera, stumble backward, and it hits the floor with a sharp snap. The lens cracks, but the whisper doesn't stop. It's coming from inside the camera. Something is speaking through it. I grab a flashlight and aim it at the wall, the one where our family portrait used to hang, and my heart nearly stops. Because the photo is back, perfectly framed. Clean, new, untouched. But there's something different this time. In the picture, we're all smiling, me, Mom, Dad, but behind us, in the darkness of the hallway, there's someone else. A shape, a face. And it's holding a camera. The photo shouldn't exist. I keep telling myself that. I stare at it, frozen, as my eyes adjust to the faint light of the cracked flashlight. The air is thick, suffocating, like the walls themselves are leaning in, watching me. I take a tentative step forward, and the floor creaks under my weight. The whisper returns, softer this time, almost patient, almost coaxing. Look. Look closer. I lean in toward the photo. trying to convince myself my mind is playing tricks. But it's not my imagination. The shape in the hallway, that face, it isn't blurred or obscured. Its eyes are wide, black, empty, staring directly at me. Then the camera clicks. Another photo. I don't remember taking it. The camera is on the table, cracked and lifeless, but the counter now reads 2. I pick it up again, trembling. I have to see it. I peel back the paper. It's the same room, the same wall. Only now the photo shows me, standing in front of the portrait, frozen in the exact same position I am now, flashlight shaking in hand. Behind me, the figure is closer, and this time, it's smiling. I drop the camera, my knees buckle. I stumble back against the wall. The whisper grows louder, filling my head, not just the room. You can't leave. You can't leave. My first thought is panic. My second is denial. I tell myself to breathe, that this is some kind of hallucination. Stress, grief, guilt. I lost my mother. I lost my father. And now I'm losing myself. But the house doesn't answer me with reason. It answers with movement. Shadows flicker in the corner of my eye. Every time I turn, there's nothing. But the light from the flashlight seems to hesitate, dim slightly, as if something unseen is blocking it. I climb the stairs slowly, each step groaning like it's alive. The upstairs hallway is darker, colder, the walls slimy with years of neglect. And then I hear it, laughter. Quiet, soft, childish. The kind of laughter you remember from somewhere you shouldn't. I freeze. It's the same laugh I remember hearing in my bedroom when I was 10. The night Mom vanished. I swallow hard. My mind screams to turn and leave. But curiosity, or maybe madness, pulls me toward my old room at the end of the hall. The door is slightly ajar. Inside, everything is exactly as I left it. Dusty, faded wallpaper. A small bed pushed into the corner. Toys scattered across the floor. My old desk with a drawer slightly open, and on the desk, the camera. It's impossible. I left it downstairs. I dropped it. Yet here it is, perfectly positioned, waiting. I pick it up again. The counter now reads 3. I breathe, trying to convince myself this is coincidence. But the camera is warm. Warm to the touch like a living thing. I raise it slowly to my eye. The lens fogs instantly. And then the whisper, clear and distinct. Look at yourself. I glance into the lens, and the reflection isn't mine, not entirely. My eyes, my hair, my face, but behind me, filling the frame, the figure looms. Its body is long, unnaturally thin. Its hands, too long. Its smile stretches impossibly wide. I stumble back. The room grows darker. The shadows curl around the corners like smoke. And then I hear footsteps behind me, soft, deliberate, pacing in time with my own heartbeat. I run. I don't care where. I crash down the stairs, flying past the living room, past the hallway, and stop at the front door. I yank it open, and the porch is empty. The night is still, quiet, too quiet. I look down at the camera. The counter reads 4. I drop it. It shatters. The lens cracks. But the whisper stays. Inside my head now, clear, laughing. You can't leave. You're mine. I back away from the door, and when I turn, the hallway behind me is filled with photographs, hundreds of them. Every photo is me, standing in different parts of the house. And in every single one, that figure is closer, always closer. I want to scream, but my voice is gone. I realize suddenly, with a chilling clarity, that this house, the house I grew up in, has been waiting for me. Waiting for me to come back. Waiting for me to see what it wanted me to see. And whatever it is, it's hungry. I collapse on the floor, my back against the wall, staring at the hundreds of photographs. The air is heavy, thick with dust and something else. Something I can't name. My fingers tremble as I reach out and pick up the nearest photo. It's the living room, the same angle I saw earlier, but something is different. In the corner, behind the sofa, the shadow I saw before is closer than ever, and I'm not there. I flip through another photo, my bedroom. I see myself standing at the window, holding the camera, looking terrified. But it's a picture of a moment that hasn't happened yet. I haven't gone back upstairs. My breath catches in my throat. The photos. They're showing me future events. Every step I take, every move I make, the house records it and somehow predicts it. The whisper is back, now softer, coaxing. Look, see what comes next. I feel drawn to my old desk. The drawer is open wider now, as if inviting me to look inside. My fingers slide over old notebooks, dusty letters, a faded diary. One book catches my eye. It's my mother's handwriting on the cover, faded but unmistakable. I open it. The pages are full of strange notes, sketches of rooms, and cryptic warnings. The house watches. The house waits. Do not trust the lens. My heart pounds. My mother, she must have known. She must have seen it too. Maybe that's why she left. Or maybe she never really left at all. I hear a soft tap behind me. A shadow crosses the floor. I whirl around, but the room is empty. I glance back at the photos. New ones have appeared on the wall. I didn't place them. They show me looking toward the desk where the diary now lies. And behind me, the shadow is closer than before, always in the frame. Always watching. I realize I have no control here. Every move I make is anticipated. Every breath I take, recorded. I try to leave again, heading for the front door. The hallway stretches longer than it should. The walls seem to bend inward. The photographs on the wall now show me walking down the hall, toward the exit. Only this time, the shadow is right behind me, smiling, waiting. I stop. I can't leave. Not yet. Somewhere in the back of my mind, a thought grows. Maybe this isn't just about me. Maybe the house collects memories, fears, secrets. Maybe my mother didn't leave because she wanted to. Maybe she was taken, trapped. Like the house traps everything inside it. I pick up the camera again. The counter reads 5. I hesitate, my finger hovering over the shutter. The whisper. Look, see the truth. I raise it slowly. The viewfinder shows my bedroom, just as it was. The diary on the desk. And then, I see her. My mother, standing behind me. Her face calm, almost sad, almost warning. I drop the camera. My legs give way. The house is alive. It's patient. It knows me. It knows my fears. And it's going to make me see everything I tried to forget. And I have no choice but to follow. I sit on the floor with the diary open across my knees. The paper feels warmer than it should, like it's been waiting for my hands. Every page smells faintly of the same chemical sweetness that lingers in the hallway, as if the ink itself is alive. Mom's handwriting runs small and slanted, words pressed into the paper as if she had been afraid they would fade. Light bends differently in this house. Photographs don't show what's there. They show what's underneath. I flip to the next page. A sketch of the upstairs hallway appears, drawn in dark pencil lines. At the end of the hall, my bedroom door. Beneath it, a single note. Behind the wall. My pulse quickens. Behind the wall. What wall? A faint hum vibrates through the air. It's not a sound exactly, more like the feeling of being watched through heavy silence. I lift my head. The photographs that covered the walls are gone. All of them. The wallpaper is bare, pale rectangles where the photos once hung. But I didn't hear them fall. I step into the hallway. Every movement echoes slightly too long, as if the house repeats it after me. Halfway up the stairs, I notice the wall itself breathing, just barely, a subtle pulse beneath the wallpaper. I reach out. The surface is warm. Something is behind it. I rush back to the living room, searching drawers for anything sharp. I find a rusted letter opener. When I press its edge against the wallpaper, the paper tears with a soft sigh. Behind the thin layer of wallpaper is a gap narrow, deep, filled with darkness. The smell of old wood and chemicals floods the air. Inside the cavity, I feel something smooth, flat. I pull it out. A photograph. It's older than any of the others. The colors have faded, the edges curled. It shows the same house decades earlier. But instead of my family, another one stands at the front door. A man, a woman, a small child. And in the upper window, my bedroom window, a dark shape stares out. The same outline. The same face. The whisper comes again, but this time it's a woman's voice. Soft, familiar. You have to finish what we couldn't. I drop the photo, heart pounding. The diary slips from my hands, pages fanning open to a line I hadn't read yet. If you find the dark room, don't stay long. The dark room. Dad used to talk about it, his old photography space in the basement. He said it was sealed after the accident, that no one should ever open it again. I swallow. The whisper fades, but the air seems to shift, pointing me toward the basement door. The handle is cold beneath my palm. When I open it, the smell of chemicals and dust hits me hard. Stairs disappear into pitch black. My flashlight trembles as I step down. The deeper I go, the thicker the silence becomes, until I realize it isn't silence at all. It's the sound of faint dripping water and breathing. I reach the bottom. The flashlight beam lands on a door covered in red dust, marked with a faint word scratched into the surface. Develop. I can't breathe. The whisper returns, softer than before. Do you see now? This house never forgets. I back away slowly. The air grows warmer, heavier, filled with the smell of photochemicals. My vision blurs. And then the camera clicks again. Somewhere above me, on the floor I just left, a single flash of light. The house is taking another picture. The basement smells of dust, photochemicals, and rusted metal. The word develop on the door draws me in. The lettering isn't written in ink or paint. It's etched with a blade, each line carved deep. I find the light switch. Nothing. The bulb above the stairs flickers once and dies. I use my flashlight instead, sweeping the beam across the clutter-old tripods, film canisters, and a table covered with glass bottles labeled Fixer, Stop Bath, Developer. Dad's voice echoes in my memory. Photography is about patience. The image always reveals itself in time. I take a careful step forward. On the wall hang dozens of contact sheets, tiny negatives arranged in grids, each one an unfinished photograph. Most are blurred or underexposed, but one catches my eye. A picture of my mother in this same room, looking over her shoulder, startled. I search for a date. Nothing. But in the corner of the sheet, written in Dad's handwriting, test roll number 32, do not process. I sit at the old enlarger and lift the lid of the developing tray. The chemical inside is dried and cracked like old paint. Underneath it, a single photo lies hidden. It's a close-up of the basement door, from the outside. In the reflection of its small window pane stands a figure that looks like my father, but younger, confused, as if he didn't know the picture was being taken. I feel a quiet click behind me, not the camera metal. The basement door upstairs has just swung shut. I rush up the stairs and pull on the handle, but it's stiff. Not locked, just swollen from years of humidity. I shove until it opens. When I step back into the hallway, the air feels clearer somehow, cooler, like the house has exhaled. Every photograph that covered the walls earlier is gone. The wallpaper is smooth, clean, and pale. My phone buzzes suddenly, one new message from an unknown number. It's an image. The same photo I just found in the developing tray. I stare at the screen. The timestamp says it was sent 5 minutes before I discovered it. My hands start shaking. Someone has been here, maybe still is. I check every room, calling out quietly, half expecting my own echo. The rooms are empty, but the front door stands slightly open, just enough to move in the wind. A delivery envelope lies on the porch. No name, no return address. Inside is a roll of undeveloped 35mm film, and a note. You're close. Finish the work. The roll of film feels heavy in my palm. Not physically, but in meaning. Each frame could hold something that changes everything. I take it back down to the darkroom, flicking my flashlight to red mode. I still remember the steps Dad taught me when I was 10. Load the reel in the dark, seal the tank, pour in the developer. Wait. Patience. As I twist the roll onto the reel, my fingers tremble, not from fear, but from the weight of the past returning in small, invisible squares. Minutes pass. The smell of the chemicals is sharp and nostalgic. When the film is finally rinsed, I unroll it carefully, holding it to the light. The negatives reveal fragments of a life I thought I knew. My father at his desk, writing. My mother reading by the window. A shadow between them that shouldn't be there. But then, near the end of the roll, something changes. The setting is this same basement. My father's camera sits on the table, pointed toward the door. In the next frame, someone enters. It's me, maybe 8 years old, holding a toy airplane. I never remembered this day. The next few frames are blurred. Then one sharp image. Dad, standing behind me, hand on my shoulder. He's looking past the camera, at someone else in the room. In the final frame, the camera is turned. Now it's pointing toward my father. He's not looking at me anymore. His expression is tense, distant, almost frightened. Behind him, at the edge of the frame, a silhouette thin, feminine. My mother. But she looks nothing like herself. Her eyes are blank. And she's holding something, a small metal box. The same box I found in the attic weeks ago. The one that was empty. Except now, on the negative, it's open, and inside there's a piece of paper with a single word visible through the grain of the photo. Remember. I shut off the light and sit in silence. My breathing echoes in the room. The truth isn't about ghosts. It's about something hidden, something they never told me. The phone buzzes again. Another message, same number. No image this time, just words. You're ready for the attic. The steps creak like living things. Every footstep I take echoes the same rhythm my father's did years ago, slow, deliberate, cautious. The attic door sticks the same way it always did, swollen from years of moisture. I push it open, and dust falls like pale snow. Inside, the air is thick, untouched. Boxes, old coats, forgotten furniture, all shapes and shadow. The smell of cedar and time. The last time I came here, I was a child. I remember hiding behind those same boxes during storms, listening to the wind hit the roof like fingertips. Tonight, it feels different, heavier. I pull the cord. The light bulb above me flickers once, twice, then steadies. Everything is bathed in a warm, amber haze. And then I see it, the metal box from the photograph. It's sitting in the middle of the floor, perfectly centered, as if waiting. It shouldn't be there. I left it in the basement. Kneeling, I brush away the layer of dust. The latch is old, but not locked. Inside, a stack of photographs bound with a black ribbon. I untie it slowly. The first photo is of my parents, younger than I remember them, standing in front of this very house. My mother's eyes are kind, but tired. My father's smile looks forced. The next photo, the same house, but darker. Curtains drawn. No one in sight. And the next, a child's bedroom, perfectly neat except for a single drawing taped to the wall. A stick figure family of 3. But the father's face has been scribbled out with thick black ink. My hand shakes. At the bottom of the stack, an envelope. My name is written on it. The handwriting is my father's. It says only, if you found this, you're old enough. I sit on the dusty floor and open it. Inside is a letter creased, yellowed, long. I unfold the letter carefully, letting the paper fall against my knees. The handwriting is familiar, my father's, but there's a weight in every curve, a gravity I didn't notice as a child. He begins by explaining why the attic exists, why the photographs were taken, and why the house always seemed alive. If you are reading this, it means you've begun to see the house as it really is, not a home, not a place of comfort. It's a keeper of stories, of fears, of truths, and it keeps them until someone is ready to understand. I pause. The words prick my mind. Keeper of stories. That's exactly how it feels like the house records, watches, and waits. I wanted to protect you, to shield you from what we discovered here. But protection is a cage, and cages trap the soul. Your mother and I, we found the truth about the photographs. They were not just pictures. They were records of moments the house had chosen to preserve. Not what happened, but what could happen. Potential futures. Shadows of decisions not yet made. And the house. It has memory. It remembers. I swallow hard, feeling the air grow thicker. We tried to ignore it. We thought if we never developed the last roll, if we never looked too closely, the house would leave us alone. But it didn't, and so the photos accumulated, the shadows moved, and we feared our own memories. I sent your mother away to protect her, to give you both a chance to grow outside the influence of this place. I stayed to confront it, to learn, to catalog. You are old enough now to see it, to understand it, to finish the work we started. I run my fingers over the paper, the work he mentions. What does it mean? You may feel fear. You may feel anger, confusion, or grief. Let those feelings guide you, but do not let them dominate. The house does not want to harm. It wants to record, to reveal. And in the revealing, it teaches. Look at the photos. Understand the moments frozen in the negatives. Learn what it shows, and you will see the truth of our family, the choices that led us here, and why we are who we are. I sit back on the attic floor, overwhelmed. Every sentence carries the weight of years, of secrets, of a family story I never fully knew. I glance at the stack of photographs again. The faces of my parents, the shadows in the rooms, the strange shapes behind them, now they feel less threatening, more like pieces of a puzzle. I realize then that the attic, the dark room, the photographs, they were never meant to trap me. They were a guide, a record, a path to understanding. The whisper in my head is gone now, replaced by a quiet clarity. The house isn't haunting me, it's teaching me. And I am ready to learn. I carry the photographs and the letter back upstairs. Every step feels heavier now, but clearer. The house no longer seems threatening, it feels expectant, patient, waiting for me to understand. I stop in front of the large mirror in the hallway. I haven't looked into it since I arrived. For years, I avoided it, as if seeing myself might reveal something I wasn't ready to face. Now I lift a photograph and hold it next to my reflection. It's me as a child, in my bedroom, looking scared, holding the camera. Behind me, my parents are in the frame, blurred, but I can see the worry etched into their faces. I stare at my own eyes in the mirror. I recognize the fear, but I also recognize something else. The same resilience my parents had. The same curiosity that drove them to document, to understand, to face the unknown. The letter rests against the mirror's edge. I glance at it again. My father wrote about choices, memory, and understanding. I realize now the photographs were never meant to frighten me. They were a way for the family to leave a guide, a map of understanding for the next generation. I place a hand on the mirror. My reflection doesn't flinch, but I feel a connection to the child in the photo. The one who didn't know, who was scared of the shadows. And suddenly, I see the attic door reflected behind me. Not open, but slightly ajar. The house is showing me the path forward, not through fear, but through clarity. I return the photographs to their boxes. I place the letter carefully on top. The weight of it feels lighter now. I step back and take a deep breath. The mirror reflects me, older, stronger, and aware. Not trapped, not scared. For the first time in years, I feel ready. I step outside into the morning light for the first time in what feels like years. The air is crisp. The wind carries the scent of damp earth and pine, but it no longer feels heavy or threatening. The house stands behind me, still old, still worn, but for the first time, it seems patient rather than menacing. I realize now that it never wanted to trap me. It wanted to teach me, to show me the weight of memory, the importance of understanding, and the value of the choices my parents made. I carry the box of photographs carefully in my arms. Each one tells a story, moments of joy, fear, learning, and love. I understand now that the house collected them not to frighten, but to preserve, to help those who came after see clearly what was hidden. The letter from my father rests in my pocket. His words echo in my mind. Look at the photos. Understand the moments frozen in the negatives. Learn what it shows, and you will see the truth of our family, the choices that led us here, and why we are who we are. I breathe deeply and feel a sense of completion. The shadows that haunted the photographs, the whispers I thought were threats, they were warnings and lessons. They guided me to see what I could not as a child, what my parents tried to protect me from, and what I now need to understand to carry forward. I glance back at the house one last time. It looks ordinary now, but I know its heart beats with every story, every secret, every photograph I could never have imagined. I leave the property slowly, carefully. With each step, the memories shift, no longer oppressive, but enlightening. The house is behind me, but its lessons stay. I feel gratitude, a quiet reverence for what it has revealed. As the sunlight falls across my path, I understand. The dark room, the photographs, the whispers, they were never evil. They were the language of memory, of love, of family. And in seeing, in understanding, I finally see myself and the legacy of those who came before me. I step fully into the light. The dark room is behind me, but I carry its clarity with me, always.